He came home earlier than anyone expected that day. The sun still spilled its golden light through the tall windows of the Grand Marlowe estate, and the quiet hum of the city below was beginning to fade into a peaceful afternoon. Hush. Adrien. Marlowe, a man celebrated for his success, respected for his influence, and quietly envied for his fortune, stepped through the polished oak doors of his mansion, carrying only one intention in his heart: to surprise his family. He imagined his wife relaxing in the garden with a book, or perhaps his little girl, Clara, drawing rainbows in her sunlit playroom. But what he saw instead carved a wound so deep it would change the course of his life forever. Before we continue this heartbreaking yet powerful story, take a moment to pause. If you believe in kindness, forgiveness, and the strength of second chances, please like this video, share it with someone you care about, and subscribe to Pure Hub Kindness. Together, we can remind the world that compassion still matters. Clara was just 6 years old, a fragile beam of light, with hair as golden as morning and eyes pure enough to mirror innocence itself. Since losing her mother years earlier, she had been Adrien's entire world, his reason to smile, his reason to keep going. When he remarried, Adrien hoped his daughter would once again know the warmth of a mother's love. For months, he convinced himself that his new wife, Celine, cared for the little girl, but that illusion shattered in a single moment. Standing frozen in the hallway, Adrien saw Celine raise her foot and cruelly kick one of Clara's crutches away. His little girl stumbled, her weak legs trembling, trying desperately to stay upright. Sight broke something deep inside him. His precious child, born fragile, yet always brave, being treated with cruelty under the very roof that was meant to protect her. Adrien, the man who guarded business empires with precision and caution, realized in that instant that he had failed in the one role that truly mattered, being her protector. He couldn't breathe, couldn't think. The only sound that reached him was Clara's soft, frightened whimper, and it shattered his heart into 1,000 pieces. Every deal, every dollar, every ounce of pride meant nothing now. Celine's voice cut through the air, sharp and venomous, scolding Clara for being slow, for spilling food, for simply existing. And then, Adrien stepped forward. The grand mansion fell silent as his voice, low and trembling with fury, filled the room. Clara's eyes widened. She saw her father, and with all the strength her tiny body could gather, she ran to him and clung to his legs, her small arms trembling. Adrien lifted her gently, holding her close, whispering words of comfort she had waited too long to hear. When his eyes met, all he saw was fear, not remorse. Moments later, Celine was gone. No explanation, no defense could erase what she had done. Adrien made sure she would never come near his daughter again. When the house grew quiet, father and daughter sat together on the marble staircase, sunlight pooling at their feet. Adrien felt the heavy weight of guilt pressing on his chest. He had been blind to focused on business, to trusting, to distant, and Clara, his sweet girl, had suffered in silence. He promised her that day he would never let that happen again. From then on, Adrien put aside his empire. He devoted himself entirely to her healing, listening, comforting, learning. He discovered truths that tore him apart. How Celine would scold her when no one was around. How she'd skip meals. How she was told to hide when guests came so no one would see her crutches. Each confession cut him deeper than any business loss ever could. But with time and love, the wounds began to mend. Adrien surrounded Clara with people who cared, therapists, kind teachers, gentle friends. Slowly, she began to blossom again, painting bright pictures, laughing softly, and taking small, determined steps in her therapy sessions. And as he watched her fight for every ounce of progress, Adrien realized something profound. Children don't just need shelter from the world outside. They need love, safety, and kindness inside their home most of all. Months passed, and their home no longer echoed with silence. It pulsed with warmth, the laughter of a child, the joy of a father who finally understood what truly matters. One sunny afternoon, Clara surprised him. With steady eyes and trembling courage, she took a few careful steps on her own, without the crutches. Adrien's eyes filled with tears as she looked up and said, "Daddy, I want to walk with you, not because I have to, but because I want to." He knelt before her and whispered, "You already are the strongest person I have ever known." That day marked a new beginning. What once was a story of pain became one of resilience and rebirth. Adrien used his wealth to build something greater. Foundations for children with disabilities, scholarships, therapy centers, all in Clara's name, because he now knew that love without action means nothing, and wealth without compassion is empty. If this story touched your heart, please take a moment to like this video, share it with someone who believes in kindness, and subscribe to Pure Hub Kindness. Your support helps us continue sharing stories that shine a light on love, empathy, and the courage to protect the innocent. Before you go, leave a comment below saying, "Every child deserves love," because no child should ever suffer in silence. Adrien Marlowe never forgot the day he came home early. What began as heartbreak became the turning point that taught him the truest meaning of love. The world may remember him as a powerful millionaire, but to Clara, he was simply a father, a man who chose love over everything else.